Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Be Amplified podcast. Thanks again for being here today. I am Amy, the show host, and this is a show for conscious, soulful entrepreneurs who want to let their energy lead in their business. And these are the times we're living through. Energy is becoming more and more a part of everyday existence. People are waking up, the world is changing, so much transformation is happening. And while people might not use the words I would use, when talking about energy, I've noticed people who never really were into any of the, let's say, woo side of things are waking up. They are becoming more aware of things like their intuition. And that is really where we're headed on the planet. Humanity at large is waking up. We are moving into a new era, and energy frequency is going to become more important than ever. So, are you aware of your energy? Are you aware of what you are vibrating and putting out into the world? Are you aware of your natural, authentic self and what that feels like versus your conditioned self and what that feels like? Because I find that for many of us, we go back and forth. We feel ourselves, we feel when we're aligned, when we are functioning in an optimal way that really expresses us, at least who we know ourselves to be in this moment, and it feels in flow. Our energy is liberated and flowing. And then our conditioned self pops out, and suddenly we feel a little restricted, held back, held down, blocked. We're performing instead of just flowing, things like that. We're all going through this shift. Some of us have done more work, maybe internal work on ourselves than others, but we are all experiencing the shift. And energy is leading the way into the new era. So, in today's episode, I want to talk about taking parts of your business out of the box that you've put them in and maybe putting them into a new box or maybe letting them be out of the box for a while or forever, and how this can be a really kind of nice way to take a little inventory on your business and where it's at, and to consider what might need to evolve or expand or change or be let go. And I've been doing this in my own business, which is what is inspiring this little talk today. So I have put many things within my business into boxes. And when I say a box, what I'm saying is that I put a part of my business into a box, and the box is labeled, and there's instructions on the outside of the box, and the box is a certain size, and whatever's been put in that box, it kind of has to function and work within those parameters. There's not a lot of space for creativity in the box. There's a little space, but not a lot, right? We could say that the box might be taped shut. I'll give you an example. I created what I'm calling the inner circle email in my Be Amplified business. And I have a list of emails that I've acquired over, 25 plus years of being self-employed in the wellness space. And the inner circle email I created so that I would have a list specifically of entrepreneurs, specifically conscious entrepreneurs. And I said I was going to send out an email once a week about entrepreneurial things. And I was so excited because this was going to give me an outlet for sharing all of the little things that I'm discovering along the way in my business, doing business with other people who will benefit. And it's a marketing tool, it's a way for me to stay relevant and consistent with my people. And I was really excited about doing my inner circle email. And I put it, into this little box and called it inner circle. And I wrote the instructions down. Every week, you're going to write an email to the inner circle list. And the email is going to have these different parts. There will be a little introduction, and then you're going to have an insight, and then you're going to share a section where they can watch or listen to something. And then you're going to share a section that lists out all of the upcoming events or ways that people can work with you. And it's going to be great. And I was all on board with that. And I taped up the box and, it's sitting here in my business with me. And time has gone on. I'm not sure how many of those emails I've sent out. And it's not that I don't like the idea of the email. It's not that I don't like talking and sharing on the topic of entrepreneurialism with people who have expressed interest. I think all of that is great. But I'm changing. My business is changing. And now I feel a little restricted by the instruction that I need to send out this email once a week. And I need to send it out in that format. And already, if you are on my inner circle list, you've seen I've kind of changed a few things since the first go at it. I've removed a couple of the sections and I've made it a little bit more fluid in a way that just felt easier, more aligned, simpler in a lot of ways. But now I am questioning it entirely to some degree because there's a lot of moving parts in my business right now. And even this podcast is, in a way, for me, a little bit of a box. And again, I, created this podcast. I said it's specifically for conscious entrepreneurs, specifically for people who want to lead with their energy. I wasn't sure I was going to record every week, but then I started recording every week. And then I felt like I had to be consistent and keep recording every week. And it's in a box now. And the box has been taped shut. And I feel like I need to keep doing this podcast in this consistent, structured way. And because of the box for me and my personality type, my human design type, I'm feeling a little restricted. And my creativity is feeling stifled. Now, I'm a huge advocate of being consistent in your business. And I think boxes actually are good. They can be really good. They can be so helpful to give us much needed structure in our business to really help us build the architecture of our business and to, create enough structure to create momentum. But we have to know when we've outgrown the boxes. We have to know when the boxes need to be recycled. We have to be willing to maybe put the thing into a new box, get rid of the old one, and create a new box. And we have to know when we need to kind of unbox something and just let it breathe and live outside the box for a while. We could apply this to really any part of our lives, right? We can apply it to our business and the strategies that we're using in our business, but we can apply it to our thoughts, our beliefs, right? We put certain ideas into boxes and we then think about life in certain ways all the time. But it's just a thought, it's just a belief, and those beliefs can change. We can break down those boxes and we can allow ourselves to think differently, to see things differently, to have new thoughts. And, the list goes on and on. We can apply this in so many areas of our lives. But in my own business, I'm feeling this, right? I'm feeling this with a lot of different parts. And part of this is because I am in transition. Again, if you've been listening for a while, I've been talking about this a lot, but there's lots of things shifting for me in my business. And I'm starting to see how I need to pivot my business, how I need to transform some things for what's next, for my next level, and how I'm going to be sharing my gifts with the world. And I think I'm going to share this today. Yeah, I'm going to share this today. So, if you have been listening to this for a while, this podcast, I shared how during the eclipse during September, I had this download, this new thing came in that I was going to start pursuing, and that thing is real estate. I'm actually in training right now to be a real estate salesperson or real estate agent, whatever you want to call it. And I've been interested in real estate, home spaces, sanctuaries for a long time. Like I have this fascination with spaces. I can walk into a space that's maybe run down and dilapidated, and I walk in and I see its potential, and I'm like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, like, you could do this, you could do this, you could change this. This would be so amazing." And this came in September. It kinda landed into my awareness via my partner, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do next." It was a 100% yes in my body, and I was like, I'm going for it. I'm gonna do this." And it kinda goes against a lot of things that I've been doing to help me be free, to be able to travel whenever I want, to have everything online, to be teaching online. But the truth is, when I'm really honest with myself, yes, I want to travel. I want to be able to take a month off and go be by the beach in the middle of winter. That would be amazing, and I plan to continue doing that. But I want to be with people. I want to be connected to people. And what I love about the real estate idea is beyond just being fascinated with real estate and the idea of home spaces and creating sanctuaries and things like that. I love the idea of selling something that is not my own thing, selling something that isn't dependent upon me showing up in my full energy, but still being really passionate about it. I realized that I am this innovator and I'm a creator, but my innovations, my creations come in waves in a sense. I have a lot of individual empowerment circuitry in my human design chart. And that's a mutative energy, meaning it comes in pulses. And I go through periods where I'm super creative. Something comes through and I need to act on it. I need to create. And it's like I go through the whole process of being pregnant with that creative idea and then giving birth to it. And then there's a lull afterwards. And I realized I really want to be in flow with that mutative energy, that individual empowerment energy. I want to follow that creative pulse that moves through me. And I don't want to have pressure all the time to be creating and putting out in that way when I'm in the lull. And when this real estate thing dropped in, I was like, oh, that feels so good. It feels so good to have something that I'm still passionate and interested in and think will be actually like really inspiring and fun to do. But I'm not the one designing and building the house. The house is there. It's just something that I'm assisting people to, buy or sell, whatever. So that's the thing that came through that really propelled me into this whole rearrangement of what I'm doing in my business. And I'm going to keep doing my business. I'm going to keep doing this podcast for now. I'm going to keep doing the Be Amplified work, human design and business work for sure. But I'm having to assess all my boxes and unpack some of the boxes, rearrange some of the boxes, recycle and let go of some of the boxes. And I'm okay with that. But it's a little messy right now and confusing about how to, rearrange the room in all the boxes. But I'm figuring it out as I go, and you'll be seeing some of that roll out if you follow me or listen to this podcast. I'll be sharing more on this podcast about all of that, how it's all flushing out. Being a real estate agent is not going to happen overnight. I'm still in training, and I really don't know how it's all going to flow as I move into it, but I feel like that will be something that I do alongside my other stuff, which is the Be Amplified work, my spiritual work, yoga, meditation, my one-on-one sessions. And I'm excited. I'm excited because it feels like there's going to be this like really beautiful balancing out where when I've got the creative pulse, I can create in my side spiritual business, energy-led business. And when I'm not in that creative flow, when I'm in the lull, the space between giving birth to new ideas and creations, I have this other thing that I can go do that doesn't require me to be creating, producing, giving, teaching, guiding, all the things. It's a whole different kind of vibe. And that feels when I feel into it, when I feel forward into it, it feels balancing for me. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this all unfolds, but it's a little messy right now, and I'm working with the boxes. And so I'm going to wrap up this session today, but for you to look around in your business and to consider what boxes you have and how are you relating to them. You might notice that you are doing certain things in your business because you put them in a box and you feel like you can't take them out of that box. And I know for me, my fear is always, will people judge me if I change my mind? Will people judge me for being inconsistent? What will people think? Are people confused because I seem to have, endless ideas that I have to keep birthing into the world. And are they confused now? Is she a yoga teacher? Is she a business mentor? Is she a real estate agent? Like, what is this lady doing? Well, I'm multifaceted, I'm multidimensional and multi-passionate, and I'm an innovator. And so I'm going to be listening to what's coming through. And when it's aligned, I'm going to take action on it and I'm going to do it because I know that I am being guided, especially when I'm tuned in and listening to that deeper knowing inside of myself. I am being guided and I'm following that. And it may not look like what the world tells us it should look like, right? Success to me is me having the freedom to be me being able to create and be in flow and to survive this crazy world. That's freedom to me. That's success to me. Yeah, of course, making money is part of that. But before making money, am I aligned? Am I attuned to who I really am? Am I authentically expressing that? Am I moving beyond my conditioned blueprint and stepping into my essential blueprint, my true energy? And am I allowing it to express and follow that? And it's not going to look like the world tells us it should look. And people might judge, people might think I'm inconsistent or whatever it is. But I know at the end of the day, this is the path for me. So unbox some things, free yourself up, free up those strategies, let them morph and change if that feels right. Okay. So let's wrap things up and close things up here. If you want to do a little unpacking with some support, consider scheduling possibly an intuitive energy clearing with me. Those are so amazing for busting through blockages and really taking quantum leaps in your life, reframing things, clearing out old beliefs, old energies, old emotions. Really powerful. Link below in the show notes. One-on-one human design readings are another way that we can work together right now. And that's a great way for giving yourself a map. Like, what is my essential energy? I'm a little unsure, but I think I feel when I'm there. Your human design blueprint can really give you a map to help you orient back to your true self and step away from the conditioning and the performing based on what's not you. And there's some other ways that we can connect and work together moving forward. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And I will catch you on the next episode. Bye for now.